every other film, the commercial genres like the crew and Singham and everything is so much a part of my DNA, and it's being there and being part of the successful films. It's about having and leaving a legacy. People just love Jabbi Men more than that. Today I think I'm feeling honored and humbled because obviously I'm so grateful to PVR and all of you, to Niharika, to everyone who's actually thought of having this festival for all my films, because I still can't believe it's actually going to be 25 years. But I'm so happy that everyone's going to get to watch all the fun movies, as well as some films that I feel deserve so much more at that time are going to get it now because they're all going to come and watch it, again. So I feel really, really happy that I'm here, and we're going to talk about my movies and how I enjoyed playing those characters. So very, very excited. I think Buckingham Murders was a very brave film because it's a film that we set out to do, which would be very true to its authentic, its ethnicity, its authenticity. We wanted to shoot the film in a small town in England, and it was a story about that. But the way Hansal wanted to shoot it, we were like, we can't have people speak in Hindi, the local people living there. So we said, let's make a Hindi and English and an English film, but let's stick to its truest form. So somehow I just wanted to do it. I thought after 25 years, if it's not now to experiment and do something different, it's going to be never. And I've always actually tried to do that with films like Chameli and Dev very early on in my career. So it's no different now that on its 25th year, if I would want to do something different. Because every other film, the commercial genres like the crew and Singham and everything is so much a part of my DNA, and it's always going to be a part of me. And that's going to be life. But I also want to do things and try out different things, sometimes as an actor as well. So it's important to strike that balance, and I'm happy I've done that because people are watching that version of the film, of the English film, and loving it. So it's a sense of, it's a good feeling to know that okay, people will go to brave out different films as well. I think it's so unfair to pick one film, considering like Niharika just said, I've done 67. I didn't even know that. I think after a point, you just lose count. As not at all. I think when we were doing, at least I was following just Karan's instructions. I mean, I knew it was like a super fun character, but no one really thought that 25 years later you'll still have characters based around who are like her. That was never really the intention, because I think when you set out with an intention of saying that we have to make this character great, or this has to be amazing, it's going to be fab, and think that. I think it just happens. It just has to happen. You never really know when you're creating it. And with Geet, it was the same thing, because I was shooting Tashan simultaneously. And Tashan was a really big film because it had Akshay Kumar, it had Anil Ji, it had Saif Ali Khan, and it was a YRF film. Whereas Jabbi Met was it was more like, it was like we were new, and Imtiaz had done one film, and there were never really any big names attached to it at that point. So I was always I'm Tashan is going to be amazing, and I'm working on this body and going to do my action film, and I would just come on the set, but my focus was Tashan. But I didn't really know that what was happening, and then Jabbi Met just released, and not that Tashan isn't special, but people just loved Jabbi Met more than that. So when you you think that, oh, everyone's going to watch this, but everyone watch that. So there was no real plan that, oh, it's going to be amazing. I was also a bit like, oh, no one really thought that. So it just happens. I think magic should just, happen. It can't be planned. I mean, we say it can be created, but there was something very raw but yet sexy about it. And everyone wanted to see it. Was like, this quintessential heroine who was, the classic under, the waterfall and being fun, and people connected to that energy, I feel somehow. And I'm so happy that Ashoka is part of the re-release list, because it truly is one of my most favorite movies. Because, I mean, I was like, I think 20, and it was obviously my first actual film which I did with Shah Rukh, because in K3G I was an opposite Shah Rukh. So for me, Ashoka will have amazing memories, and I think the music, look at it, like you said, the trend. So I think people are going to come to the theater and going to watch it, because the music from Raat Ka Nasha to San Sanana, it was all just, it was so ahead of its time, I think. I think half the decade went where people thought I was Pooh, and like I lived like her and had all these couture clothes and thought that I was so cool, and went on, whatever, okay, that's Bebo. Yeah. And then the other half of the decade went on with people, believing like I'm the Bhatinda ki Sikhni.
You never stopped talking.
Yeah, I never stopped talking. But maybe I'm a mix of both, people who know me.
Yeah.
But I think it's not about that. It's about that like I said, that I'm so passionate about acting, and also have to credit so many of my directors and, the actors who've been so amazing in so many movies, like whether it was Omkara, also that's playing at the festival now. I think, like Saif was just out of this world. And, I had a trial and I called, it's just an instant, like I called everybody. Like I said, it's such a good performance, so I'm going to call all the directors, from like Mani Ratnam to everybody, all the directors. I'm going to have this trial and call all the directors, because I think I've done really well in this movie. So I had this trial in Film City, and everybody was there, and of course Vishal and Coco and Vivek and everyone were there, and Saif was also there. And I was like excited that they're going to watch me as Desdemona, because Dolly Mishra is like, she was one of the most, actually Shakespeare never really wrote too many female characters, so it was like such a special character. So I called all the directors and made them sit and said, okay, now this is it. And in interval, everyone came out and was like, yeah, really nice, really nice. We loved everyone, and like Saif was amazing. And then the movie ended, and everyone was like, you were fab, but where's Saif? Where's Saif? Where's Saif? And I was like, what has happened? I called everybody to praise me, and then suddenly everyone just flocked to Saif and was praising him. But so I have to credit a lot of my films, and actors bounce off each other's energy. So I think great films like Omkara or Jab We Met, we've always bounced off each other's energy. Whether it was Amir and Three Idiots also. So famous scenes, you need to take from them as well. So I also want to take this opportunity to thank all my actors, in all these wonderful films, whether all of them, because it's just, without them, none of these films, whether it was Omkara, Jab We Met, any of them that's playing Ashoka, would not be what it was without them. Hopefully soon, I would love to work with him. I mean, right now he's like also going to taste blood, because he's, coming in for the first time in a Telugu film that's releasing next week. So I think that people are really excited. So I would love to do something with him soon, hopefully. I think in 25 years, one has to think of when we're, signing films when we were younger, when we were like 17, 18. It was always about proving yourself, wanting to, just be in every film. And then after a decade, if you sustain, it's also about the question of reinvention, which is very scary in an industry like this, like male dominated and whatever. But we've, over the years, had a lot of brave actresses as well, apart from me, who've also taken big strides. So while straddling the fact that I've done films with the bigs, superstars, and all those are successful films, but I've also had a career which I've simultaneously done to prove myself as an actor, because I think the longevity of an actor is only possible if they also repeatedly prove their talent. apart from the X factor that I feel an actor needs to have. And that I believe, I don't know how it is, but I mean, I like to say you either have it or you don't. And that's just the truth of the way it is. X factor combined with talent is going to take you. And of course, 30% of luck.
Yeah.
Luck is also important. But I feel more than that, it's just, it's straddling the fact. And for me, it's always been every 5 years, I've always looked back and said, now what am I supposed to do? To try and do something new. Because it's not about just being there and being part of the successful films. It's about having and leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
And that's what's been, because I do come from a family where I've been challenged and always felt like they're so amazing, but I need to leave my mark somewhere. तो ये longevity नहीं होती अगर वो सोच नहीं होता that कि ये करना है, कैसे करना है, how else am I going to last? Otherwise, then there would every 10 years there's somebody new. But so sustaining it is the main thing. And for me, that is why I have to have choices of Buckingham Murder at the same time of Singham, at the same time of Crew, or a film like Jaane Jaan on the streaming platform, which I feel that if it would have come in the theatres would have been fab. Which I don't know, I hope it comes. I don't know what the deal is if we
people are sitting next to you.
since it was a streaming film. Because I feel it did so well for the streaming platform, it could have done well in the cinema. He was extremely happy. He wants to come and watch all the films. he's excited to come. He said, and he loves coming to to PVR and watching movies. And he actually watches most films on Fridays. So when I told him about this, he was very excited. So he wants to do a Omkara and a Shoka for sure. So, I mean, but coming back to your question, I'm just happy that people will get to watch these movies. And obviously, I feel so excited, honored, everything that, I mean, sometimes it's like, I don't know, I have to still figure out what's going to happen for the next 25. That's the scary. Oh, why are they doing that? Am I famous? I'm like, no, you're not famous. I'm famous. You're nobody. You haven't done anything. So I'm like, you're not. So he's like, maybe one day I'll do it but right now in his mind it's not films. Right now it's only football. Everything is football. So I hope he will watch some of my films. I'm sure someday. But the minute I can take him away from, a little bit of football. I never looked at myself as just, a brand. I want people to watch my work, my films, and I want people to know that I was, and that I am an actor who's very, very, passionate about her job. An actor who's been very, very loved by her fans, because I am where I am after 25 years. To be here is only because of them, because their loyal support and their love. And I'm actually, I think my connect is with that. People like to see me in those roles because there is a connect to the masses. Somehow they feel that's why roles like, Poo or Geet have always been, them mouthing those dialogues or saying that. So there is that, connect which I really appreciate. And I don't know how, but yeah, I mean, I'm planning the next 25, hopefully, for it to have more films that will, play here in the cinemas and people will enjoy in different roles. Oh, there's no dream role as such. I mean, I always wanted to be a detective, so I've done that. And now I have to think of what else I have to do. But so I've never really thought of, this is a particular dream role. I look at characters something that I would enjoy playing. Because you have to spend, 50, 60, 70 days with that character in you. So you have to really enjoy doing it, That's the most important thing, I think, for an actor. To enjoy playing that part. Otherwise, how will you be able to spend so much time, Yeah, nowadays I have to, so there's no option, but no, I guess maybe I should get them to watch something at the festival, I think, here, when it's playing. I know
want
that's
to hear what you
Yeah, I think so, no? Omkara would be a bit shocking to see, for them with their father. So yeah, I think Chappie went, maybe let's start with that. They haven't started watching that, but maybe we should. But then he's always like, but then why are you watching TV? Why are you on your phone? So these days, kids are, it has to be, the parents also have to kind of do what they want their kids to do. So, you know, when we're at like wanting to put them to bed, then we're also reading and not watching TV till they go to sleep, because I guess they learn from example. You know, there's no other way. If they're going to see us on the phone or on the screen, they'll want to do that. It's actually a very good question. It's one of the best questions someone has asked me, because it really makes sense. Your question makes sense to this. Um, so yeah, I guess it is. It's this thing that whether, you know, the more glamorous you are, maybe you're not taken seriously as an actor. It's, I mean, you know, people, I guess that's just the way maybe people think. But now that when they see my choice of films and what I've done, I think that, you know, proves wrong, that you can't really judge a book by its cover, and you can't really make judgments before you see. But of course, the image of being this, I don't know, like you said, I've never looked at myself as that, because I always stay away from, you know, people saying these sort of things to me, because I've always preferred to be, you know, with my ear to the ground, because it's so important for an actor to constantly have that, to know the reality of situations, the reality of, you know, what's happening around them. So I've been very, very lucky that I'm that kind of person, and I've focused on my performances. And it has taken those number of films for people to take me seriously. That now that when Buckingham Murders come, they're like, okay, fine, you know, because I've constantly been at it, proving myself. But that's also probably been the reason of the longevity that's given me that. Because, like I said, you know, that I've constantly been at it, trying to prove myself also as an actor. And I think, yeah, hopefully, I mean, I don't want, you know, anyone to say that, okay, wow, you've done it all, now what? Because I think I want to constantly keep proving myself still. I think there's a long way to go still. अगर एक्टर्स ब्रेव चॉइसेस नहीं ले पाते हैं और अलग फिल्म्स नहीं कर पाते हैं, तो आई थिंक दे आर दे कांट जस्ट बी नोन एज, यू नो, कि अगर मैं जिंदगी भर सिंगम और क्रू में काम करूँ, तो आई थिंक वो यू ऑल्सो वॉन्ट टू डू थिंग्स डिफरेंटली. वो टू लास्ट 25 years एक ही टाइप की फिल्म में हम नहीं काम कर सकते हैं. अलग अलग फिल्म काम करने में वो एक लॉन्जिविटी, एक रास्ता देता है, एक ऑक्सीजन टैंक जैसे बनता है. And I think for a film like, I mean, मैंने चमेली, I did it at my career at the age of 22. I think nobody thought, तब सब कह रहे थे कि नहीं, करीना नहीं कर पाएगी वैसी टाइप की फिल्म. And for that time, it did so well. So I think that at this stage in my career, it's also important कि अलग अलग किरदार करना ज़रूरी है, कि करीना ये भी कर सकती है, वो भी कर सकती है. एट द सेम टाइम गीत जैसे रोल्स ही नहीं कर सकती हूँ मैं. आई कांट ओनली कीप डूइंग गीत ऑल माई लाइफ. जैसे मैंने कहा कि आधी जिंदगी ऐसी ही चली गई. पहले 10 साल के लोग समझते थे कि ये गीत ही है, अब ये पूल टाइप की ही रोल्स. तभी तो then people were just offering me those kind of roles. तो अगर if I had picked every role like that, I think आज ये फेस्टिवल नहीं होता, क्योंकि वो रोल would not have been part of pop culture. अगले 25 साल करने की ताकत है कि अलग अलग रोल्स, कुछ फिल्में 100 करोड़ हो, 500 करोड़ हो, बट कुछ फिल्में अगर कुछ लोग भी देखें और तारीफ करें, आई थिंक वो उससे दिल खुश भी हो जाता है कि ऑडियंस इज देयर टू वॉच दिस.